Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator. The beginning of everything.
Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Brink of Sanity, the much anticipated episode 207.
Yes, 207. This is what you've been waiting for 206 straight episodes.
That's right.
Jay, what is going on today? It's just me and Jay. Me as in Mark and Jay. And we're going to talk about nothing interesting. You might as well turn off the show right now.
Well, you just killed all the momentum we had building up.
So much momentum.
We
Jay,
were
tell me
building
about
up
your
that
day.
momentum for a good 45 seconds, and you just crushed it.
What have you been up to? So I try not to talk to Jay off the show because when I talk to him off the show, we come up with interesting things to talk about. Then we get on the show, we have nothing interesting to say. So I've decided just to talk to you only on the show and hear about your fascinating life, Jay.
Oh, good. I hope everyone else is really on the edge of their seats for this.
So what's new?
Well, I was supposed to study for my awesome classes today, and my neck was hurting me, so I took a...
Have you been going to, for those that are just new to the show, Jay's been in grad school since the dawn of time. How long have you been in grad school so far?
Just over 3 years.
Holy crap. So for 3 straight years, you've been working full time and doing grad school.
Yeah.
How many more years do you have?
I'm trying to graduate by December.
Will you be a doctor at that point?
No, it will be a master.
A master, okay. A master in business?
Yeah. I'll have the MBA, and then I will take a couple months off to do nothing but just drink and sit on the couch, because this has sucked. This has been one of the worst
Will you
experiences.
use your master in business to make our show huge?
You know, I'm not... I should double major in marketing, because I have no idea how to market this show.
Really? You have no idea how to market it?
I don't understand how last episode had half as many downloads as any episode for the last 6 months. I just don't understand how that works.
When you say half, you mean 1 as opposed to 2 downloads?
We have a few hundred listeners. But you know, enough where, like, if it's halved, it's noticeable.
It is funny because the Nick show is actually, it doesn't do amazing, but it does it does amazing compared to this show. But I feel like this is the show you enjoy more, Jay.
It is. The Knicks are in the middle of their worst season, literally, of all time.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So that's getting a little old. It's like, oh, hey, welcome to the Knicks show. They lost every single game this week. All right, the end.
So you took you were taking drugs today? What were you doing?
I took muscle relaxers, and apparently I'm the lightest weight person ever.
Why are you taking muscle relaxers?
Oh, my neck's been killing me. I think...
Why is your neck... What the hell's wrong with you?
I think I
You have
slept-
anxiety? You're
I'm a mess.
You're a
I'm
mess.
absolute
What else
mess.
is wrong with you?
I think the first day I got that apnea machine, I slept weird trying to adjust to it and just totally destroyed my neck, and it's been bothering me since.
Do you think you could get collect on the warranty for your life? Like, dear God, wasn't there a warranty on this? This is what you gave me. The body doesn't work. God, this body I'm in just doesn't work.
Yeah, it'll be like every single other warranty. My body fell apart right after the warranty expired. I probably had a 36-year warranty.
God's like, you know what? If you called me about a week ago, I could have put you in a nice, much healthier body, but you got what you got.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying because it has the machine has a humidifier attached to it, and the guy is like,
Why does it have a humidifier attached to it?
because you're blowing air up your nose, so like if you don't have a humidifier, it dries your face out, and it leads to nosebleeds and stuff. So the guy's
Can
like,
you post a picture? I know we're supposed to have some kind of Instagram thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you post a picture of this machine? Or get a picture of you in the machine?
sure. We are,
And then can we, if some of the listeners can take up the picture of Jay in the machine and show it, if they have kids or no young kids, can show it to the kids and see how long it takes them to scream.
Or just Photoshop it of like me in space or me as a jet fighter pilot or something fun like that.
I would love to see one person do that. Please post it.
Because the Knicks page has people who will Photoshop stuff for us.
Okay, maybe people will do it for the show also.
We are the Brink of Sanity on Instagram now.
Says you. So when are we joining Clamor?
Clamor?
Clamor.
Never heard of it.
I know you're in the you have the social media bug. You signed us up for now. What are we on now? We are on Instagram. We are on Vine. We're on Pinterest.
No, we're not on Pinterest.
I don't know what else you signed us up for.
Twitter.
Did you? So we had an email in our Brink, I think it was at the Brink show or the Nick show for something called Clamor. It is like Twitter for, I guess, the radio.
Oh yeah,
or Vine for the radio. Sorry.
Yeah, they want 6-second audio bites.
It's 18-second audio bites.
That'll really give you a feel for the show. 18 seconds.
Well, I guess their big thing is that like 18 seconds of audio. So there's the audio version of the 6 seconds for Vine. I have to say, who in God's name is going to... I understand Vine looks kind of cool. I get the whole Vine thing. There's no way this catches on.
I just don't get how... Like, unless we're just telling one-liners on the show, I don't get how you can get the whole feel for the show in 18 seconds.
Or the feel for anything.
Maybe if we cut out all the not funny parts, we could get to 18 seconds of the show.
Are people really going on to listen to like 18-second sound bites of anything?
I don't know.
I guess comedians, but even comedians don't have like a lot of like bits that are just timed that perfectly.
No, they would have to be like Mitch Hedberg one-liners. Most comedians take a minute or two to tell a joke.
I haven't gone on this one, but I have to say, of all the different social media, I feel like Clamor, I really hope doesn't succeed. I wish bad things on the people who started it. I don't know them, but this one just seems, come on.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, I'm coming up with a new one actually. Picture Fast. It's you go on a site and you can only look at a picture for 7 seconds, and then the picture disappears. Then another picture comes up.
Sounds suspiciously like Snapchat.
No, the pictures aren't of penises. So, though very fast, it'll be taken over by the penis.
Yeah, you should just skip the middleman and just call it 7-second penis.
I love how all innovations, I think we've talked about this before, all innovations on the internet somehow involve porn. Like porn either it comes up with the innovation itself, or porn takes over it really fast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything about like it's saying something about society. I'm just saying I think it's funny. There's actually a new thing that I wanted to actually mention. Have you heard of the Yik Yap app?
You're just making up stuff now.
I am not making stuff up, and I wouldn't know about it. I am not hip and not cool. I am not a young person anymore, so I wouldn't know about this stuff. But there was an article about it in the New York Times, and I learned about it. It is basically a message board, but it does it by it does it by location. So it's like you go on there, you can type things anonymously, and you can do it just for people within like a mile of you, and so it's become really popular on college campuses because like it's like an enclosed community. People will go on there and just like trash the teacher or talk about like nailing so and so, but everything's anonymous. So they can't figure out who's actually saying these things, and people are getting like it's bullied on there, and people are upset. But apparently, this is a really, really popular site.
So, 20 years later,
it's been banned by a number of colleges.
So 20 years later, somebody decided to come up with AOL chat rooms.
Yeah, they're saying it's basically the same kind of idea, but like it's location based.
Why did chat rooms die out? Those were kind of fun.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I was actually kind of wondering if those things still exist.
I don't know if they do. They're not everywhere like they used to be.
So anyhow, the best part about this, the way the two things that they I guess devolve to on the internet, everything devolves to porn or extreme racism and hate.
Yeah.
So this Yik Yap
porn, racism, and bullying.
Yeah. So basically, because it's anonymous, tons of racism in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what the hell's wrong with people when they go anonymous, and they become like hateful individuals. But like apparently there's so much hate on these sites, on this site, that people are really like depressed about it.
Well, then just don't go to the site.
Yeah, that would be the kind of the obvious thing. But people are apparently going on this, and apparently it's a big deal. I don't know. They have a huge number of listeners, not listeners, users.
I don't know. Oh my god, this site's terrible. Every day I go on it, it's annoying.
They apparently closed a round of funding. They're worth about $62 million right now. This site, which is just basically copying the AOL message boards, which makes me feel I'm stupid for not being able to come up with one of these ideas.
Yeah, we have to come up with a site that is a blatant copy of something from before and cash in really quick.
Yeah, I mean that would be like a good idea.
Because they made billions of dollars off of Candy Crush, and that's just a copy of Bejeweled.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you playing Candy Crush right now?
No, I'm not actually.
Actually, you're concentrating solely on the show.
Yes, comedy's a little harder to do than Nick's. I play Candy Crush a lot more during the Nick's podcast.
Oh, we're going to introduce comedy to the show?
Yeah, that was what everyone was waiting 206 episodes for.
I'm trying to find in the article about I guess people are just being abused in the site, bullied, like talk about terribly, lots of hate speech. I never used Yik Yak, but
this is the first I'm hearing about it. I wonder if it's like a site for teens.
I used to kind of think like when I was younger, if something like hit the mainstream media, it meant it wasn't cool anymore. I'm like, oh wow, they know about the. I'm cool. I know about the stuff ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now things hit the mainstream media, and like they said, like 100 million people use something, and I'm like, never heard of it, no idea.
Yeah, doesn't that make you feel weird when 100 million people use it? It's not even like that many people know about it. Those are the people who are actually using it.
Well, Snapchat has 100 million users. I've never used it. I don't even own an iPhone. I can't even download the thing.
I know.
I live in like the 17th century. Also,
I have no desire to send somebody a picture that disappears in 2 seconds.
I only makes sense to me if I was like, hey, do you want to buy these drugs? Disappear. Hey, that's my penis. Disappear. I don't know what else it's used for. Hey, do you want to study together tonight? Disappear.
Yeah, I don't know. It still seems dumb to me.
I guess like people don't want their.
But you could take a screenshot.
I guess you can't. I guess it like unless you're taking a screenshot of everything someone's saying. I guess that way like they don't have a text message, like a text or email like log of everything you said to them.
I heard it'll tell you if you're screenshotting it though. Like if you send somebody something and they screenshot it, you'll get a message saying they screenshotted it.
Not cool, dude. Disappear.
Yeah.
Apparently, they say Yik Yak's popularity among college students is part of a broader reaction against more traditional social media sites like Facebook, which can encourage public postering at the expense of honesty and authenticity. I mean, I guess the benefit is that, like, when you go to a job interview, they're not like, we saw this shit on Facebook. You're like, you didn't see this shit on my Yik Yak account or my Snapchat account.
Ugh, there's too much now. There's way too many of these sites.
Yeah.
Instagram, I think, was the last straw. I can't even remember to update all these sites anymore.
Oh, I don't even care about all these things. Like, but personally, are you going to use Instagram yourself?
Well, I made one for Brink, but it's more like that one's going to be more like my personal one. I just post funny pictures.
Why don't you do a Snapchat for the fans?
I'm at my limit, man. You could start taking care of one of these accounts.
I did. I posted a lot of stuff. You just can't see it. So what else is going on with you? Oh, the other thing other thing I saw in the paper, that I thought was, this is terrible and hilarious at the same time. Have you ever heard of online swatting?
I swear you're making this stuff up.
I am not. This is again something. So first of all, you can play video games and other people watch. What's the thing called Stitch?
Is that Stitcher?
Stitcher or whatever.
Stitcher.
Yeah. So it's a website where people play video games and other people watch them play video games.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in my sense, like the fact that they even exist, I have to hear about it secondhand because I wouldn't even think like anyone would actually do this. And I know you've actually watched the video game, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
I can't even think of any worse form of entertainment. But anyhow, so online swatting, it's video gamers who are playing. I guess people can watch them, like them play the actual game, not just their screen.
Right.
So you can actually stare at the person playing the game.
I mean, they could hook it up so that you see the game and not them.
But the people do also how like they stare at the person playing, right?
Right. Or some people, I guess, who are high tech, they have that little screen where you see them and the main screen is the game.
So anyway, first of all, I don't know why you want to stare at this dude's face. So what people are doing is they're calling the police on these people, saying like so and so in the house like shot his like has a gun and it's like just killed someone. And the police are coming in full SWAT team and bringing down the house. And people are watching this guy, like the guy get arrested through the video game.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
I know, it's so awful and hilarious at the same time.
I was
So
I was on an adult site and I saw that happen.
What?
It was like it's like a site with like webcams and people do things on the webcams, and I saw a SWAT team come in and arrest everyone.
What was the adult site? Tell me more about this.
It's called Chatterbait, and
So is it about exchanging like cooking recipes?
yeah.
Okay.
So there was four naked people doing their thing, and then the SWAT team.
Were they naked men or women?
2 and 2,
Okay, cool.
and then yeah,
You were one of the people?
I was one of the people laughing in the chat room because the SWAT team came in and busted everybody.
But did you know like or just like this happened to be like you happened to catch a really good moment?
I got lucky. I just happened to, be watching it, and then I just see 4 people get up and start running in all different directions, and I see the SWAT team come in and handcuff them. It was amazing.
That's so funny.
And it was also funny because the cops didn't know that the camera was still on, so the people in the chat room were writing like pig and like posting pictures of pigs or just penises. So you just see dicks all over the chat room, and the cop has his face right in front of the webcam, and he's staring at the screen, but he doesn't know either he doesn't know it's on or he doesn't know how to turn it off. So he's just staring at all these dicks and like pig pictures. It was so funny.
That's awesome. In the article, it says practical jokers have delighted for years at tormenting celebrities at home by calling bogus reports of violence and provoking huge police responses. Now they found a way to turn their pranks onto instant public spectacle by setting their sights on the new victims, video gamers who play live on the internet. Last month, several hundred people were watching Joshua Peters as he played the game RuneScape from his parents' home in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Okay, if my son tells me he's playing video games online, so other kids are watching it, I'm just gonna be like, I'm breaking your computer. This is not how you're gonna make money in life.
Yeah.
Would you be approving of your son doing this?
No, you do make money though.
Really? Come on.
Yeah.
Do people make money?
That video game tournament I entered where I had to play the guy from MTV's True Life.
Yeah.
He was making $50,000 a year.
I mean, that's kind of shocking. But like the guys just play online and have people watch them are making money?
Yeah, because they get like a fraction of a penny per hit. So if you have millions of people watching you, you're gonna make some money.
Can we do a site where it's just like people playing Connect 4 and people watching them? Like live Connect 4 games?
If you get famous enough, people will watch you do anything.
Someone had called 911 claiming Mr. Peters had just shot his roommate. Shortly after defusing the situation, Mr. Peters returned to his live stream and tearfully rebuked the culprit, whom he assumed was among his audience. I don't really have any beef with anyone on this there online, said Mr. Peters, a United States Air Force veteran. That kind of sucks. He's an Air Force veteran. It's still kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's got to be like you're like, I feel terrible, but the person who calls it in should be arrested.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
And the police, I don't know.
So they found a way to call and not have that call be traced, I guess?
I don't know. It explains it somewhere in the article. My reading comprehension is not very good.
They must have a way to be it untraceable. I don't think they would do it and then have the SWAT team go to their house next when they find out it was
I
fake.
assume a lot of the people that are watching people play games online are probably like pretty good with computers.
Yeah.
They can figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's interesting. Is there anything else the teens are into that we don't know about?
Probably. They're not in the chatterbait anymore. They found better ways to masturbate online. But the yik yak thing is, if you're into homophobia and racism, this sounds like a great site to go on.
That's a terrible name for a website.
It seems like apparently it's really big on college campuses though.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those things with like cyberbullying is like, hey, don't go online.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the whole thing with like Jaws. I know how to beat Jaws, just don't go in the water.
Exactly.
He's not coming on the land. It's not like cyberbullying. Like like you're suddenly like things are gonna appear in the like, oh, you're not going online. Okay, we're gonna go to more traditional forms of media to harass you. We're gonna advertise in the New York Times that you like Mangu.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I would love though that they would like if you like the cyberbullies had enough money they'd follow you anywhere and like with more traditional forms of media. They have a guy outside your home room, like outside your house, just like with a big sign, just like saying mean things to you.
I hope they come out with a new social media site that's like something like Facebook but not as lame.
They're all lame. Let's come on. What's your idea? Come on, we gotta make a lot of money.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Send me money.
Well,
and post a picture of yourself.
That's what Facebook's idea was like. Let's come up with MySpace, but not as lame.
How about a site where people post pictures of their dogs, of their animals? And it's like a dating site that you connect people just based solely on their animals. And they have sex with the animals. How about a site that is necrophilia illegal?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, forget that site then.
What I want to do is make a fake account on farmersonly.com and see if we can get some hot farmer chicks.
Farmers what?
Farmersonly.com.
What's farmersonly.com?
It's a dating site just for farmers.
Oh. Are you making that up or not?
No, it's real. There's actually a commercial on TV for it.
There are enough farmers that they would put a commercial on there?
And apparently they're very lonely, and for some reason, the million other dating sites don't work. For them.
Is there are there hot farmer chicks?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't know. They always like the farmer's daughter.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those stereotypes that's never true.
It was in 1865.
Yeah, maybe in 1865 they were hotter because everyone was a farmer.
Right. There aren't too many farmers these days.
No. Which is weird because we need a lot more food.
Yeah. If you met someone, like you were at a bar and you were like, what do you do? Oh, I'm in accounting. What do you do? I'm a farmer. I'm sorry? Yeah, I'm farming.
So you literally plant corn.
You would just be baffled.
Yeah, it would be
You'd feel more like if someone said to you, like if the response was, I am a hip hop artist, you would say, oh, okay, I can see that. Mm-hmm. Or I play in the NBA. Oh, really? Cool. You're kind of short for that, but okay, I can see that.
Yeah, that seems like I would have so many questions.
Yeah, you'd be kind of fascinated. Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Don't you have cows to move?
Don't you have to go to bed at like 8 p.m.?
Who would you rather spend the night? If you could spend an entire night just asking questions to, would you rather hang out with a farmer or someone who thinks he's a vampire?
Ooh. Probably a farmer because they're not insane.
I don't know. The vampire guy would be pretty interesting.
It would be interesting, but you'd know you're talking to a crazy.
Yeah, that is true. But that's if the person's like totally like you don't get hurt at the end of the night, then like it might be worthwhile.
Those people exist, by the way.
I know. That's why I'm saying that. I'm not pretending. Like I'm sure there are people who actually think they're vampires, which
Yeah.
I mean, people believe a lot of crazy shit.
It just boggles my mind how something that it's like just saying I'm a Frankenstein, right? I mean, it's the same thing.
I mean, that'd be absurd, Jack. Come on.
I
I don't know.
line there.
The real question is, what point do you come up with that? Because you're not raised. You know, like I understand if you were raised to be a vampire, like your parents were like from day one, you're a vampire. Like, well, that's what I know. But if like at like 18, you're like, fuck you, mom, I'm gonna drink blood. Why? I'm a vampire. I need blood. Not for the first 18 years of your life. You didn't. Yeah, I did. Well, you haven't been drinking it, so you're fine. Why the hell do you need it now?
Well, now I'm a vampire. It happened last Tuesday.
I guess you could say you can argue you were bit.
Yeah, a vampire bat swooped down because I forgot to clean the goddamn gutters. And
Vampirewebsite.net, real vampire website for real vampires and people wanting.
is that a dating site? Vampire mingle.
They have no desire to use this as lab rats or slaves. Before reading any further, farther on this site, this website is not made for poser vamps, closed-minded people.
Only real vamps allowed.
Or those who think they are or claim to be a vampire because they think the spirit of a vampire entered them. This has to be a joke site. Entered them at some time, making them a vampire. We call these people posers, which they are. They are confused, lost children. This site is not here for them in any way. It is for real vampires, curious people, and open-minded skeptics. Real vampires are not pure fiction. Between a combination of the fact...
I'm pretty sure the guy who wrote the first vampire book said it was pure fiction.
Yeah. Would it be crazy? Like, what, like... Well, obviously it'd be crazy if vampires really existed, but wouldn't, like, this, like... I just, like, one day something like this happened, and your world was just, like, totally thrown off. I always think about, like, what if, like, you're going to work, you're trying to get your MBA, I'm trying to, like, raise my 2 kids, like, trying to, like, make money at work, and then, like, tomorrow, aliens show up. And you're like, well, this is always a waste of time. The aliens are here.
Yeah, it looks like the world's over.
Or just like there really are ghosts. You're like, oh, fuck. It's like this like a totally game changing, like everything we were doing up to this point was a complete waste of time.
That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting.
I would hope it would happen sooner than later, so I don't have to finish this goddamn degree.
Yeah, The Walking Dead. Are you caught up on The Walking Dead or not?
No, I'm not. No.
How far are you?
I didn't watch any of this season.
Well, you're kind of a waste.
Everyone.
I want to talk to you about Walking Dead. You have to kind of keep current with the show.
I know. Everyone tells me that there's like 1 or 2 good episodes and then like 4 boring ones.
It's kind of like that. But I'm not even commenting on the season. I'm just commenting on the whole concept of the show. Like, if that happened and you're surrounded by zombies and suddenly like nothing matters anymore, you're like, wow, like most of the population is wiped out and like we were running from like the dead and this is awful. But you know what? I no longer owe those student loans. So that's kind of cool. No one's going to collect that shit.
And I kind of wish I learned how to fish.
Hey, Visa, apparently having all those phone calls to me from collection agencies wasn't really worth your time, was it?
Just call them up. Yeah, I can't pay back. I'm a zombie now.
Oh, I'd pay it back, but your CEO is dead.
So, did you hear about the big controversy over the Batman cover of the new
Do we
comic?
want to find out more about real vampires, or are we done with that?
I think we're done with that. What, did you find something good?
No, I was trying to find a faster, like, here's like how ridiculous. 5 real signs that vampires actually exist on YouTube. I don't think I want to read that one. Meet real life vampires of New England and abroad. Vampires in real history. What the 9 people who are definitely real vampires. Okay, tell me what the Batman controversy.
So Batman has a variant cover of a new issue.
Oh, this is not the movies. This is the comics.
This is the comics, yeah.
Oh, okay. Who gives a shit? Go on.
Well, apparently a lot of people, because they're all up in arms over the new cover.
What is the new cover? Is he having gay sex?
The cover is the Joker with holding Batgirl, and he drew like a Joker smile on her, and he's holding a gun up to her, and she's crying. and so it's it's kind of scary, but people are flipping out about it.
Totally makes sense. You want to move on? Why are people?
People are saying like it's not showing strength in women, or she doesn't look like a hero, or it's it promotes like violence against women. I guess they after 40 years of the Joker being evil, they still don't get the point that he's evil, and they wanted him to be nice to Batgirl. I don't know. I don't know why people are so upset over. First of all, most of the people complaining about this, I guarantee, are not even reading comics.
Okay, so what I don't understand is, so I work a full-time job. Mm-hmm. I have 2 kids. I don't have a ton of free time, and I do this show. Mm-hmm. You have school. You have like a bunch of like. Who finds time to get mad about this dumb shit and like express their opinion? I express my opinion. I just tell you.
I don't get it. They actually had to pull the variant cover because so many people complained.
People get mad about the dumbest shit, and they write letter. Like, what the hell's wrong with people?
I don't know. Why would you write a letter about that? Just don't.
If you write a letter about that, can we send you to a different island and have you like just start a new nation of like whiners? Everything
is a complaint lately.
I just don't understand. Like, just like get something else with your life, or like, is this like are you one of the like the if you're unemployed and you're doing this, then like this is the reason you're unemployed. Right. But like, is it just like the people that are unemployed? This is what they're doing. They've turned their attention to.
No, I think people really just spend all their time just complaining about stuff.
I mean, if you're complaining about things like, hey, climate change is like this is kind of serious, totally get that. That's like an important issue. Batman comics.
What would you say is the percentage of people complaining that actually read comics?
Why would you even know about it if you didn't read the comic?
Because some douchebag probably posted a picture of it on Twitter, and then everyone jumped on the complaining bandwagon.
I mean, I guess it's a good point. If you're reading the comic books, then you probably wouldn't give a shit about the cover. You'd be like, "Oh, that looks cool. Let me read it."
Yeah, it's a really cool looking cover, and the Joker is a villain, so he's not gonna like buy her a cake. He's obviously gonna try and kill her. So I don't get what. I don't know. People are just gotta settle down with this stuff.
I wish they would use these complaints in like the most like just like completely inappropriate not inappropriate, like just like the complete waste of like the complaint was she doesn't look strong. This demeans women. Like they should do a letter writing campaign over just pick a random porn, like gangbang MILF 7, and just so some women get like nailed on the cover. And you're like, this degrades women. We want to write about this particular movie. It's just like all the anger on the most pointless thing ever.
Or why don't people just get really angry about stuff that sucks? Like, why can't everyone just start getting really up in arms about the Kardashians?
Is it the Kardashians?
I don't give a shit. I mean, they do nothing, and they're worth $100 million each.
You know what's really? If you want to get your anger out, let's get our anger out about rebates.
Yeah.
I'm going to change topics here a little bit, but why does everything have to be a goddamn rebate? If you want to give me the $50 back, give it to me on the spot. Why do I have to fill out a card and mail it to you? And you send it to me in 6 to 8 weeks. I hate that process. I think the whole point is so I won't fill out the rebate.
Yeah, 90% of the people forget to fill out the rebate, and I think they forget to give you the rebate for another 20% of that.
I ordered contacts, got them in the mail from 1-800-CONTACTS. And I still have a couple contacts remaining for my old box. So you try to order them before you run out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using the other contacts, using it. About a month and a half later, I open up the new contact box, and I'm like, oh, look, my rebate for $50. They couldn't give me on the spot. The rebate says it expires, February 23rd. And it was like March 1st. And I'm like, well, I didn't know the rebate had an expiration. No one kind of mentioned that in the whole process.
No, they never do.
Yeah, so I call up 1-800-CONTACTS, and they're like, "Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. Like you're supposed to send it in." I'm like, "Well, no one mentioned the whole idea that I had to open the box within a month, and I understand that's not a huge requirement, but like I didn't know there was a rush to do this." And so they're like, "Ooh, we feel your case. Let me get back to you." And so they're like, well, here's what we can do. We can mail you $25. I'm like, yeah, I guess. But my rebate was supposed to be 50. Yeah, but we'll give you 25. Fuck. And like I'm like I don't even have a leg to stand on because like the thing did expire, but I didn't fucking know it was gonna expire.
Right. That's
Why does it like this take up arms against this? This degrades women. I don't know how.
I'm sure we could tie it somehow.
Yeah, like they know women are busy, and that this makes them look like weak individuals
There you
by offering rebates.
Yeah, rebates. I think I haven't. Like I forget about them, and then I send them in, and then I just assume I'm going to get the rebate, and I forget about it, and I think half the time I don't even get the rebate.
I'm pretty sure they just throw away half the ones that they get sent in and figure like 6 to 8 weeks, people don't remember shit.
Yeah, because I remember thinking back, like, yeah, I bought that phone because it was a $50 rebate, and I don't think I got that, so I just bought a really expensive phone.
I think if you complain, they'll send it right there. They're waiting for, they have like a note in the account, send $50 check after the first complaint.
Yeah.
Like, what do they care? What are you going to do? You're like, I complained. Oh, okay, we'll send it. But you sent it like it took forever. Yeah, we're sending it. What's your problem? But I want some interest. You're going to get interest on this? We're going to pay you a penalty for this? Come on. We're going to give you $25 instead. But that's all we're going to give you. What, are you going to sue us over $25? That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah. What else is going on with you?
Oh, did you hear the other thing everyone's complaining about over the school holiday?
The Islamic holiday?
Yes.
Tell me more about it, Jay.
Bill de Blasio added a Muslim school day off for New York public schools.
Okay.
Because everyone else has a public holiday to celebrate their religion, and
I'm pretty sure all the kids in the school aren't complaining about not going to school for another day.
Yeah, I think New York has a high percentage of Muslims in their school, like 12% or something like that.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Racism, apparently. I thought racism was over because Fox News said it was, but apparently people are going completely nuts about this. I mean, I don't know why they're getting so mad. First of all, it's a day off, so don't complain.
Yeah, why like complain about the day off?
Well, they're all hypocrites too, because nobody was complaining when you get Christmas or Easter, Good Friday, or any of the building.
Now the Muslims have a full day off to kill us all.
Yeah. Remember 9/11? So since a couple people did that, their entire religion should not get holiday.
Listen, Jay, there's no day off for 9/11, but now the people that caused 9/11 have a day off. Is that fair?
This is just kind of, it's almost like we're celebrating 9/11.
Yeah, it's almost like we hate America. De Blasio, were you a hijacker?
De Blasio must be a secret Muslim because that's the only explanation for this atrocity.
We're actually just reading actual comments off of InfoWars.
Yeah, that's real comments. People are really going nuts. I tried reasoning with these people, but there's no reasoning with them.
I had a confrontation on the subway this week.
Did you?
Yes.
Do tell.
I will. I was standing near the door of the subway, but not like right in the door. A little bit like towards, like maybe like 2 or 3 feet up. I feel like it's important for the story to mention that. I'm not right in the door. Mm-hmm. So, the train's pretty packed. And so if I was staying right at the door and people were getting off, I would kind of step out of the way and people would go by me, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm a couple feet up and this person went behind, like people behind, this person behind me. So I was trying to kind of step like in to kind of get out of people's way. But I'm still kind of in people's way a little bit. There's no like perfect, I need to maybe take the perfect approach. And some guy's like pushing past me. And he's like really annoyed. He says to the woman like, well, we would have it'd be easier to get around if this guy would move out of the way. And he was pushing, and then someone else had to tell him he was pushing into a little kid that was to the other side of him. And so I said, hey, maybe you should just not be an asshole. Mm-hmm. And then the guy, like as he's getting off the subway, he like comes like back at me, but not onto the subway, and goes, hey, go fuck yourself in the neck.
Well, a tough guy doing it as he's leaving, as the subway doors are closing.
But he said like in the neck, and like it was like, and I was like in the neck, and everyone kind of snickered around me, and then the doors closed and we left. Because it was like the weirdest. Go fuck yourself in the neck. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering if like I'm gonna be like stabbed on like the way to work tomorrow or something like that because the guy's gonna be on the same subway platform as me.
People are getting much ruder on the subway, right?
I haven't noticed that much. This was just a particular instant where the guy was like being ridiculous. Like everyone's crowded. Like there's no like it's annoying no matter what.
I think it's getting worse. I think people are, well, maybe because the subway is getting worse. People are just getting more cranky. Because
it is kind of annoying. I feel like the subways have gotten worse.
I've seen it. Well, they came.
At least they're charging more now.
They came out with an article saying that it's reached max capacity and the subway can't even handle all the people anymore.
Well, that Second Avenue subway will be done in a couple decades, so that'll relieve some of the stress.
Yeah,
I live right near there. It's great. But it is kind of ridiculous how packed it is always, and like you're like, of course, people are kind of annoyed, but like, I don't know.
I feel like it's gotten to the point now where if I'm not delayed, I consider it a good day. It happens so often. I'm just expecting it now.
Well, you're out in Queens, so you have like the brunt of it. Like I like the NQRW, which I take in the morning. It's not so bad, but where you are in Queens, like it's gotta be like it's gotta suck. That's why I wouldn't live in one of the outer boroughs because you like the subways are terrible out there.
Actually, the one I take isn't bad. It's I get stuck more often in Manhattan than I do in Queens.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe I'm wrong then. Okay, maybe I'll go live in the boroughs.
Like when I'm trying to come home from school, that's when I always get screwed.
Oh, because you know what? I always take it on the weekend. I'm going out to the outer boroughs. I always find that they're really bad on the weekend.
Oh, well, they repair every single subway line on the weekend. You're better off just staying in your apartment on the weekend. Yeah,
that's really my experience. Like during the week, I don't like. I'm like it's probably fine during the week, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even
rush hour.
I try not to leave Queens during the weekend. Every single train's messed up.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I went over the Doc's place a couple weeks ago, and it took me an hour and a half, and it's, I think, an 11-minute drive. It was great.
Hey, so we get traffic on our websites.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so every once in a while, I just want to put this out there for people that listen to our show that want to advertise on our show. Recently, we had someone advertise and ask us, like, hey, can we post something on your site? And they were like, hey, like, how much do you charge for this? What do we charge for posting on a site, Jay?
Usually charge $50.
We charge whatever the hell we can get for people. So we charge $50. And the guy's like, okay, I'll just give you 20. How's that? We're like, sure. So basically the message we want to get across is if you want to post anything from our site, if you get over $1, we'll probably post it. You can just negotiate whatever you want with us. We'll post it on the website. So here's your chance as a listener of the Brink Show. If you want to advertise for anything, just do it on our site. As long as it's not an illegal business, we'll probably be up for it. Also, and if it is illegal, it's fine with us as well, as long as you pay us.
Also, if you have rants you want to post, we started 1001 rants, and I think we got through about 40 of them.
Yeah, and those are free. You can post any kind of content you want for free. For free, that is. It's a good deal for you. You could write something and put it up there and not pay us.
If you want to see the rants, it's brinkofsanityshow.com.
So today also marked the end of something that has been driving me insane.
Okay.
And this is kind of awful, but so my son is been taking a soccer class. And the soccer class finally ended today. He's 3.5, and the soccer class it's every Saturday, and it has been a miserable experience for me.
I feel like watching kids that young try and play organized sports is just not good.
No, so they realize in the class that it's not going to be that, like, they're not really going to play a game of soccer. They do a little bit at the end of the classes, but it's like they just do these skills. Like they kick the ball at the back and kick the ball back, and they do a lot of running, and they try to make it like fun for little kids.
Mm-hmm.
So the word of course is try, and my son could not give a shit that he's in soccer class. He could not care. He could care less to a point where it drives me insane. Like they like start the class like, okay, everyone run to the goals and run back, and everyone's running. All the kids are running, and he's like, do, just like wanders in a different direction. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? Did you just run? And then when he does run, sometimes he does this run where he thinks it's really funny that it looks like he's having a seizure. He goes, he shakes his body as he runs and cracks up at it. I'm like, stop running like you're retarded. And it gets like makes me like I'm like the teacher like the people that run, like around the class must be like, oh my god, that kid must have real problems. I'm like, he doesn't have real problems. He's just an asshole.
That's pretty funny. Why would you even send him there? It seems like he's way too young for that.
No, they do it as like an activity. He actually was asking us if he could take a class. He was like, can you sign me up for something? He was asking us, so we were like, let's sign up for soccer. It seems like a fun idea. Like, I mean, all little kids at some point play soccer. I feel like when they hit like 5 or 6 years old, they're all put on a soccer field and like told to run around and play. And I guess at that point, maybe they're like at an age where like it makes more sense.
Right.
Like, but at this age, I don't know. Like, there's some kids in the class that are kind of more into it, which annoys me also because I'm like, why this kid's into it? Why can't my son be into it? Because I'm into sports. I don't want me to, my son doesn't have to be. Basically, my thought on athletics is my son doesn't have to be the most athletic kid of all. But I just want him to like not be the least athletic. I want him to be like
that kid.
Yeah, I don't want to be that kid. I don't want him to be into sports. I'm into sports. It'd be nice if he's into sports also. It doesn't have to be. If he's into ballet, fine, I'll be into ballet also. But it'd be nice if he's into like sports, and like just the fact that like how much he doesn't care about it just drives me insane. He kind of just run, and he'll run over to me halfway through like a bunch of times. Like I bring my daughter with us, and I'll run over and like start playing with my daughter. I'm like, go back to class. And he's like, no, I want to play with Morgan. I'm like, how about you go back to freaking class? Okay, just go over there. But it's really the running where he's having seizures is what drives me the most insane. But yeah.
Did you ever play European handball in high school?
What is European handball?
It's kind of like you have a goal on each end, and you have like kind of like a Nerf ball, and you can take 3 steps, and then you have to pass it.
Oh, it's like throwing using your hand, obviously.
Like you don't dribble, but you could take 3 steps without dribbling, and then you have to pass it.
We did play that once in like high school.
Yeah. Speaking of being that kid, there was a kid in my gym class that was so bad. I would take my 3 steps, and he was on the opposite team, and I would call his name and throw the ball to him, knowing he'd drop it, and that I could pick it up and take 3 more steps. I did that every single gym class.
I kind of remember thinking that was kind of a fun sport, but it also was like, this can't be a real sport because it's so, I don't know. It's like Newcomb, basically.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
But like Newcomb's kind of fun until like you realize that it can't be really a real sport. Newcomb's the one, like it's volleyball except you can catch the ball.
Oh, yeah. We only actually played volleyball like once or twice. I don't know why we didn't play actual real sports in gym more often.
I feel like we did. I don't know.
We had 2 weeks of like square dancing.
Were you on the Wonder Years?
I feel like I was. I mean, that was like square dancing in gym, really?
Yeah, that seems kind of really, really stupid.
It was really stupid.
I'm not even sure that's the point. I understand, like gym class should just be like, hey, like I understand that giving kids like exposure to different sports, that makes some sense to me. But generally, like you just pick some sports you want to play and you can just play them. Like why force them to play things you don't want to play?
You know, I get everyone has to participate, but why? Like I feel like we rotated with all these weird things, like you said, Newcomb and square dancing.
Right,
and
like
stuff.
why can't you just have like, hey, I'm going to sign up for like 6 weeks of volleyball, then I'll do 6 weeks of soccer, and I'll do 6 weeks of like basketball.
Exactly. We played basketball once, and somebody elbowed the doc, and he needed stitches under his eye, and they never had basketball again in gym class. It was like one of those fluke things. Think about how many times you play basketball, and that like never happens.
Right, but injuries just happen. Like any sport that has contact has injuries. Like, what's the big deal?
I don't know. I don't know why they waste time on all that weird shit.
Speaking of weird shit, do you know they're doing a Dumbo live action movie? To jump topics.
Oh, cool. I'm sure that'll go well over just as big as Operation Dumbo Drop.
Tim Burton's doing it. He's doing a live action Dumbo movie.
I don't think there's a movie that I could have less interest in.
I mean, sometimes like they're doing this movie. Is this a cry for help? Like we just have like we can't come up with anything new, and like we're just doing this. Like just someone just forced us to stop doing these bad ideas.
I wonder if it's a secret propaganda movie because elephants are in danger of going extinct.
That'd be great if it was. It'd be great if it had like some secret political ties and people were protesting the Dumbo movie. And
No, I
like in
think
the
it's gonna
movie,
make a
like they make
statement.
the female elephants are treated poorly, so people protest that. The women, I think the women elephants should be stronger. What does it say about society when they have women elephants not being as strong?
I'm sure whatever they do, somebody will complain about it.
Yeah. I just don't understand. Like, don't you have enough things going on in life that makes life hard? Life's hard enough that you like, and then you add complaining about bullshit.
Yeah, people are turning into real miserable curmudgeons.
I mean, if you want to complain about stuff that actually matters.
Nope. Got to complain about comic book covers.
Do we have questions on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, I think we do. I'm checking email, too.
Why are you looking that up? I have a fact that will blow your mind.
We are thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com is our email. And if you
Yeah,
want to
but-
leave us a voicemail, it's 631-676-1181.
I have a fact that will blow your mind.
Let's hear it.
So I'm going to read it directly from the article. Surprisingly, new research suggests that our home galaxy, the Milky Way, is about 50% bigger than previously thought, spanning some 150,000 light years across rather than the 100,000 light years that have been generally accepted number.
I can't see all those light years, so it's not true.
I mean, also, who gives a fuck? like that couldn't matter any less than anyone.
Yeah, it's
That matters.
interesting.
That's not even interesting. 100,000 for the 150,000 light year. That's great. Why are you even doing this research? What's the point of that research? Like, can't you do something better with your time? Can't you at least like spend your time complaining about the Joker harassing Catwoman or whatever the hell it was?
You know, if you go on the comment section for that, it's just a huge religious debate. Every single science article now, it turns into a huge religious debate in the comment section.
Are there churches out there that are just like go out there and blog and complain and fight people on things that are real?
Yeah. Fight all science.
Yeah. How many oceans are there?
7.
Name the 7 oceans, Jack.
The Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian, the Arctic, the Mediterranean,
Are you like high?
the Nina, and the Pinta.
I expect you to have a better answer. It's 4. I thought there were 4 oceans, right? Or maybe you had no idea, I guess.
You know, I might be mixing that up with continents.
I think you're mixing that with continents. Maybe you should go to like elementary school at night also.
You know, you take these classes and then you forget everything you took. Like,
It's so
Next
like
letter.
unhelpful anyhow. Like most of the stuff my son learns, I'll say like the basic like math and like learn like basic stuff besides learning to read, like stuff they teach him in school. You're like, who cares if he knows this stuff?
and honestly, it's really all just one big body of water with 7 continents in it.
Well, we're gonna be dicks about this whole thing, huh?
Yeah.
So I learned there were 4 oceans growing up. There was the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Arctic. Right?
Okay, so I got the 4, right?
Right. So
I just made up 5 more.
so someone pointed out they were at our place the other night, and there's a big map on my son's wall, and like everything's supposed to be labeled like appropriately. They have little labels for like the oceans and the continents, and but nothing's actually labeled correctly because he can stand up and reach and throws everything off and destroy. But whatever. But one of the things they have on there is the Southern Ocean, and she was like, "Hey, is there a new ocean?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I learned there were 4 oceans, but your son's calendar on the map there on the thing where they have the Southern Ocean." And I was like, "Well, what are you talking about? The Southern Ocean?" And we looked it up, and there's something called the Southern Ocean.
The hell is that?
It's sometimes considered, according to Wikipedia, sometimes considered an extension of the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian, which encircles the Antarctica. But now they're saying there's 5 oceans. Like all this shit, like it's like the planets. There were 9 planets, now there are 8 planets, and someone told me the other day also that maybe Pluto might be a planet again.
Yeah.
If you're gonna take facts that just don't matter, just stick to keep them the same. Why switch them? 4 oceans versus 5 oceans. Who gives a shit? The Milky Way is 150,000 square light years instead of 100,000 square light years. Who gives a shit?
I guarantee you, in that ocean article, the comments are a religious debate.
And if Pluto's a planet or not, who gives a shit? Just keep them the same. It affects no one's life.
Yeah.
No one has ever been like no one is positively or negatively affected by this except for maybe the guy who wrote it and like someone. So I don't understand how it helps anyone. It's not like, oh, we were close to nuclear war with Russia, but then Pluto was no longer a planet, and we settled things because we put the world in perspective. I was going to bomb. I was going to commit jihad, but I heard the universe is 150,000 light years, and I thought, hey, maybe there's more to live for. I don't know. I'm just into like there's a point of like science and like discovering stuff, and then there's a point of like, hey, do something else with your time besides discovering this pointless shit. You might as well be telling me about like facts from the Lord of the Rings. In Middle Earth, there's like, I mean, the people we always thought they were 3 foot tall, but they're actually 2 foot 7 inches. So it's different.
Totally different.
It matters just as much. The facts you can just read off facts from Tolstoy and read off facts from science lately, and they both matter just as little to me, or the same, whatever. So what was the question on Facebook? Snapchat matters to me more than this shit.
Wow. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is saying a lot.
The question on Facebook is favorite Stephen King novel / story and movie.
There's a Stephen King movie book I keep seeing in the bookstore. I keep thinking about getting, but I don't get. I like the concept where some guy goes back in time to like stop the JFK. He knows about JFK getting shot and goes back to stop it.
Yes.
Did you read that one?
No, I haven't. My friends keeps telling me it's really good, but also I my first question was, does he do the one shooter or multiple shooter theory? And she said one, and I'm like, I don't think I could like.
Oh,
God. I think that would bother me the whole time.
I mean, they'd go back to stop 9/11, and they would just like try to stop the Muslims when it's clearly George Bush doing it. So like, it would ruin the whole thing for me. I mean, they would try to stop the planes, and the planes had nothing to do with it.
I don't know. It would bother me. I heard it's a really good book though.
It looks like a good book to read. I don't know. I've never actually even read a Stephen King book.
Really?
I know you're like a big Stephen King reader, right?
Yeah, I've read a ton of his books.
So I don't like. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can't find another way to say this without sounding like a dick. But I don't love reading nonfiction. I mean, I try to only read nonfiction. I don't love reading fiction that much.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll take the book part of the question.
But doesn't that, I feel like I'm like, I just like to, when I do spend time reading, I like to like try to learn something along the way. So
yeah, for me, I guess because I'm always reading like accounting books and bullshit like that, that when I read, I want to read something completely out of the realm of reality.
But as far as favorite Stephen King movie would be, I'm gonna say Misery.
Ooh.
That one's I think a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good one.
And I think it's done really. I mean, I didn't read the book or anything because I didn't read any of these books. But I thought about reading that one Stephen King book, though. I liked the premise enough that I thought about reading it. But I don't know. And I loved also. But that was a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I'm saying, did you see that one? It? With the clown?
I only saw like half of it, and I liked it, but it was like, I was at a friend's place, and it's like 3 hours long, so I never really...
The second half isn't nearly as good, but I remember being like scared of it when I was like a kid. The movie.
I'm gonna go with Stand By Me.
Oh yeah, I'd go with Stand By Me also. I always forget about that one
because it's not like it doesn't seem like a normal Stephen King thing.
No, it's clearly not a normal Stephen King thing.
And I would, for the second best movie, I would go with The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I keep forgetting that was a short story of his, right?
Yeah.
So Shawshank would. First of all, Shawshank's a better movie than Stand By Me.
I don't know. I haven't seen Stand
love
By
Stand By
Me.
Me. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But Shawshank is like an incredible movie.
And then I also have a soft spot for Maximum Overdrive because it has the AC/DC soundtrack.
He's got so many good movies off his books.
No, I would bump Maximum Overdrive out, and I would put in The Running Man.
I love The Running Man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was so good. That was one of the best Schwarzenegger movies.
Yeah, that's an underrated movie.
That really is an underrated movie. I think like Schwarzenegger movies. What's the best Schwarzenegger? The best Schwarzenegger movie, in my opinion, is T2, Terminator 2. I think it's better than 1. 1's good also, but 2 is I think better.
I'm torn because I think Predator is amazing too.
Okay, I would put Predator above. We don't have to fight about the order, but I think put Predator above it. But what else above Running Man? I think Running Man is better than True Lies.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it's better than Twins. The Twins is pretty amazing.
Yeah, Twins is good. I would say it's really up there.
Yeah, I think it's a really good action movie. Oh, I think it's Total Recall.
Total Recall is good, but I definitely like Predator and Running Man better than those.
Um,
You know he's doing a new Conan movie?
Wait, didn't they already do a new Conan movie? Oh, he's doing one. Did they do a Conan the Barbarian recently?
I think so, but he's doing one.
Oh, like Schwarzenegger's doing one.
Yeah, and he's Conan at like 65.
Is he in an old age home?
I don't know.
I never even saw Conan the Barbarian. What's that even about?
It's about just a barbarian that runs around and stabs stuff.
Sounds amazing.
It's not great.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, Stephen King has a lot of movies attached to him. What's his best book?
Best book. He has this series called the Dark Tower series.
Yeah, that's the one they're supposed to make into a movie. They've always tried to make it into a movie because I've heard that's supposed to be like his best series.
It is. It's 7 books. He came out with like an in-between book too, but the main part is 7 books, and it's kind of like there's a bunch of realities are like slipping into one another. So it brings in about 40 of his other books. Like they go through this like wormhole and they'll end up in like The Stand, and they go somewhere else and they're in another book. It's really cool, and like I haven't read a lot of his books, so
You have
like,
to be a really good author if you write books that like bring in your other books, like that kind of thing. Like to be like that, like people like I'm gonna like reference my other books, and people are gonna be like, "This is awesome."
yeah, seriously. He has this like Man in Black character that's shown up in like 4 different books.
What is the Dark Tower?
The Dark Tower is like each story holds one of the realities.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, there's all these different realities, and something is affecting the Dark Tower and making it like glitch, and that's why all these like different wormholes are opening up.
Can you read it without reading the others?
Yes. You just, you'll just see him, like, he'll be at like some subway station, and you're like, all right, he's at a subway station. You just won't know that subway station was in The Stand, or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's not like, but it's a lot cooler if you've read all those books.
Well, I mean, like he references like 40 different books, and I had only read maybe 10 of them, so I didn't understand most of the references.
It's an awesome book, awesome series.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So I'd say the 5th book of that is his best book.
Is it The Wire of books?
Yeah, it like the 5th book would be like season 4 of The Wire.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What was the next question?
That was our only question.
Oh, we have a comment also.
Oh yeah, we had somebody post on the wall, right?
Yeah. There's actually a friend of mine who used to live here and has moved, and he's the only person I know who actually listens to the show, the Brink Show, at least.
Cool. Okay. Yo, Mark and Jay, much like the podcast Serial, you have me tuned into every episode, hoping you'll finally reveal who is really behind 9/11. Also, to call you both out, Mark, neither Steve Martin nor Candice Bergman were SNL cast members, just the funniest people on when they were guests. I didn't know Candice Bergman wasn't.
I really thought she was on the show.
I was pretty sure she was.
She's been in some amazing bits from the show.
Yeah.
I knew Steve Martin was just a.
Yeah, I knew Steve Martin was a guest.
I also thought Steve Martin was on the show for like a year, but I guess he wasn't. I think he maybe was just a guest. I guess.
No, he's been the guest. I think like the most out of anybody.
Okay.
So, also Jay, Sue Storm is the Human Torch's sister, not mom. I'm getting schooled on comic book trivia. Franklin was
Jay. I think you want an apology to all of our listeners.
Franklin
just admit you don't really read comics.
Franklin was Sue and Reed's kid. I knew that one. If you're looking for a quick way to tank that comic, have anyone writing for SNL currently write a few issues. Question: what's the biggest thing you regret throwing away because you needed the space?
Jay, that baby you had, right? Remember you needed space. You just threw the baby in the dumpster.
It's taking up way too much space. Thing I regret throwing away. I don't think I had anything that I regret too much that I threw away.
I had the coolest thing I've owned that I no longer own is I once had a foosball table. I had an ex-girlfriend who gave it to me for a birthday gift. I don't know how much it cost, but I think it was expensive. But I think her family had a lot of money anyhow. But it was kind of like just like you're like I lived in Atlanta at the time. I had because of how much because everything's dirt cheap in Atlanta. Like I actually had a big apartment for not that much money, and so like I had totally room to have a foosball table. And people would come over, and you played foosball. It was freaking awesome. But then I was moving to New York, and I realized pretty fast that like I was not going to have room for a foosball table, so I just sold it. And also was no longer dating that girl anymore. So it'd probably be weird to my current wife to have something from an ex-girlfriend like that.
Right.
Like, oh, where'd you get a foosball table? Oh, my ex-girlfriend gave it to me.
Yeah, you could just say it was a gift.
But it was kind of cool. It would be like a cool thing to actually own. It was a cool thing I owned that I no longer own.
You have to learn the art of half truths. Just say it was a gift and leave it at that.
Or you could just say I got one. I'm like, yeah, of course I got one. How much did it cost? Where'd you get it? Stop quizzing me.
That's why you say it was a gift. That's the
Yeah.
end. Who gave it to you? I don't remember.
Yeah.
So nobody you know. There you go.
Also, you're surprised how many people that you know when you have a foosball table don't actually want to play foosball with you. People come over like, hey, you want to play foosball? I go, I don't really want it. I'm really competitive about it. Oh, that's gonna make it better. Like, we'll go over to the dickheads. They're gonna beat me in foosball with his own table.
Not as competitive as the guy I played at a bar who brought his own handle grips.
You're making that up.
Nope. I should have just walked away right there because he was doing stuff I didn't even know was possible. He was like passing it back and forth, and he did this move where he just flicked his wrist and the ball appeared in the goal.
That's worse than having your own. I mean, it's pretty like ballsy to have your own cue stick in pool, but like, why couldn't they play with the bars handles? How do you even take off the handles in a bar so you can put new handles on?
He put his over. Because they had like extra grip or I don't know. What a fucking nerd.
So why do you even play the person? You just go, hey, you win. You care about this so much more than I'll ever care about
Yeah,
this.
when people do things like that, it's just time to move on. I remember I was playing Killer Instinct in the arcade, and some guy came in with a piece of paper with like the combos on it, and I was like, all right, well, this isn't going to end well. He did like an 87 hit combo on me. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
I was in a fraternity in college, and the fraternity like, people were really we had a foosball table, and everyone was really into playing foosball, and people got competitive about it. But it was kind of like a fun thing, and so but you like end up like playing it a lot, so you got like a little better at it. And so like I was a little better at it, but like then like people wouldn't want to play me when I had my own foosball table because they're like, you're really into this. I'm like, well, in college everyone liked to play, whatever.
Yeah, I want to go back to college. When
when
the
things
most
like having a
important
foosball,
thing.
being good at foosball actually like mattered.
Yeah. Gave you status. Okay, moving on. Most embarrassing song you love?
Hit me, baby, one more time. Let me think. That'd be a good one, though, right?
I'm gonna go with "Angel" by Shaggy.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I like that one.
I like that one. I kind of like the other one with the on the bathroom floor. What's the one?
It Wasn't Me.
Where it wasn't me. Yeah, I think that one's hilarious. I think it's one of the funniest songs ever because I just always picture the scene of like the guy's like on the floor just like fucking this girl. His girlfriend walks in and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, baby, hang on." He like gets up like
Calls
like,
Shaggy.
yeah. He's just like kind of like wipes himself like off, like maybe takes off the condom, throws it down, and he's like, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" That girl wasn't me. I just saw you fucking her. Wasn't me. Must have been someone else. What do you mean? I'm in the room with you. The only people in the room with me.
Shaggy, you handle this.
I don't know. It wasn't me. So that's actually one of my favorite songs, just because of how. But my favorite songs for humor. Embarrassing songs.
I'll let you think about that. That was a good question, though.
That is a very good question.
We're still on Andrew's question. Also, Jay, talk more about your favorite comics because Mark loves it.
Yeah, go on, Jay. I love hearing about your comics. Tell me about some other comic that you care about.
I read a few X-Men issues today. Good stuff.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have new powers?
No, they don't have new powers.
How do they get new powers?
Some of them have a second stage of their evolution, where they later in life they develop a second power.
Do they ever play the lottery? Like Wolverine's waiting for that lotto ticket. Like if Powerball comes in, he's like, "Fuck this whole Wolverine stuff. I'm just gonna like live life good and just like screw it."
They already live in Professor X's mansion rent free.
But wouldn't it be cool if there was like, hey, like, didn't you used to be like member of the X-Men? Yeah, but I won the lottery, so I don't do that anymore. Now I just like drink martinis and hang out at like beach clubs.
Yeah, Angel's a billionaire. I don't know why he hangs around with those guys.
Who's Angel?
Did you see X-Men 3?
I don't remember. I saw some of the X-Men. I don't remember which ones I saw.
He's a guy with wings. He was one of the original X-Men. That's
Okay,
all he does. He has wings. He has no other powers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, every time they fight somebody like really powerful, like Angel, you just fly around a little bit, kind of distract him because you can do nothing else.
I guess for you, embarrassing. I love a ton of Kanye. I guess for you that would be embarrassing music to love.
I can't stand that guy.
I gotta say, like, he's got a ton of good music. I think his first three albums have like at least half the songs in every one of those albums is really good.
Yeah, classics.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends that post stuff that are way too personal on Facebook?
Not really. Why?
Because the other day I saw this one. I am so ready for divorce, praying for a quick and easy end to this marriage. Isn't that like a little too much for Facebook?
Was it weird that like it was like your dad?
I think it was my girlfriend. I think it's even weirder that 34 people liked it.
What? Is it someone that you know is just in the rocky relationship? Are they in the middle of a divorce or?
I think so. I mean, I would think when you post that and then don't take it down that you are in the middle of a divorce. I don't know. I mean, then like a week later it said my heart completely broke and now it's time to rebuild. So I guess they're getting divorced. I don't know. It just seems like, maybe.
Did you start posting things that are really personal on there? Like today's the day I find out about the tumor, malignant or benign. Who wants to guess?
I started. You know how you can add a life event,
Yeah.
and it it shows everybody, and it makes a big giant post about it. I did a life event for a really good burger I had.
What was life event?
I ate a really good burger today, and there's a picture of the burger.
You know, one thing I've noticed is like so you go through your what's your scroll called? Your
Timeline?
Not your timeline, but like just like you go on Facebook, the homepage.
The news feed, yeah.
Your news feed, yeah. So it used to be like you go through that and like you're sitting at work and then you like see a bunch of your friends, like people you haven't seen in a while, and look like they're having fun, and you're like, this sucks about work. People are having fun. Or someone's doing something that you're like, oh, that's cool that the person just climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm at the office. But now I've noticed I don't see that anymore. Now all I see are ads. When I go through it, it's either an ad or it's like some website I've signed up for, like getting their feed. It's just it's like they're all like I can't even find my friends. I can't even find my friends' posts on the news feeds anymore.
Well, every few days you have to change the news feed from top stories to most recent because Facebook automatically changes it to top stories, and it's the top stories that they think you should read, which is all ads.
Yeah, I don't even know how to change that.
There's a little drop-down arrow next to it, but they change it back to top stories like every few days.
Wait, I'm on Facebook right now. How do I even do this?
On the left, it says news feed, and there's a little drop-down arrow to the right of it.
Oh, most recent versus
Yeah, it'll change it back, so keep checking that because it's really insistent upon you looking at what they want you to look at.
Oh, this is a totally different timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like I get like all these websites I've liked on Facebook, and now I get like all those things instead.
Yep. That's how I know they change it back. I'll log on and I'll just see all these random ads, and I'm like, oh, they must have changed my timeline again.
Oh God, what a dumb.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to say I do like on Facebook, and I use whatever I go on Facebook like everyone else, but the one thing I'd say actually they've done a good job with is their trending stories on the right.
I never even look at that.
Oh, I was because it's like here's a bunch of stuff that's going on in the news that I might have missed for the day.
Yeah, maybe I should start looking at that.
Oh yeah, I actually think that's a kind of like that's actually like the best thing Facebook has done since they said like you can sign up for Facebook and like stalk people. Here's something else that annoys me. So you know March Madness is going on, right?
Yeah.
You watched it at all?
Nope.
I always kind of like watching, especially the first week, like the first weekend when all the games there's so many games being played. And now I'm also acting as the unofficial scout for the Knicks, so I'm trying to watch those players. I'm sure the Knicks will take it. They'll take my input. I'm all about Towns right now. But anyhow, so there's a debate that always goes with college basketball. I'm not going to get too much. I don't want to spend too much on the NBA here. But the NBA, a lot of people, I guess college basketball is pushing to get players to stay in college for 2 years instead of 1 year because they're saying it's ruining college by having guys come from 1 year and leave, right? Mm-hmm. And so I guess Rick Pitino, who's a big-time college coach came out and said, hey, I don't care. Like they shouldn't have to come to college. If they don't want to go to college, let them go right to the NBA. Like it's not us. Like we shouldn't force them to come to college for a year. Like what's the use of it? Like they're gonna take a couple courses in college and that's gonna change their life. Like if they don't want to go. They shouldn't have to go. Which seems pretty reasonable. I kind of agree with that. Like I'm like why there's no other job profession in the world was like Microsoft doesn't say you can't hire you until you complete a year of college.
Right.
If you're a goddamn genius, they'll hire you. So Tom Izzo, who's the coach of the Michigan State Spartans, he's a big-time college coach. Here's what he said. Like everything else in the world, smoking cigarettes was cool. Then after research of years and years and years, it develops lung cancer. Izzo said at the news conference on Saturday. So we changed our thoughts. We have not researched where a large majority of these guys that come out early are. Someday, 10 years from now, there's going to be a study of how many kids came out and ended up on the streets. That's the crime of this whole thing. Tom Izzo also gets paid millions of dollars to help exploit free labor, basically.
Yeah, that seems pretty dramatic.
He's comparing it to like the deaths from smoking.
Because they didn't go for 1 year of college or 2?
Or didn't stay in college longer because they didn't feel like they didn't want to work for you for like they didn't play basketball for free for a couple more years.
Now that I'm back in college, I realize what a scam college actually is.
Oh, everything about it's just a scam.
They're trying everything in the book to have me stay an extra semester. Seriously, they keep changing classes from 4 credits to 3 just so I'm 1 credit short of graduating, and offering classes like once a year that are mandatory. They're trying every trick in the book. Because if I stay an extra year, I have to pay all those student activities fees and all that other bullshit.
So there's been a bunch of like articles about law school lately. By lately I mean the last couple of years about how like law school. There's a bunch of law schools out there that are just total scams, where they charge a ton of money for people and they never like the people coming out of there barely get jobs. Mm-hmm. And so now there's like a big thing about there's an article in the Times about how there's a flack about the bar exam. So the bar exam, the exam you take, you study for a couple months, and you pass the exam. It's a hard exam, but as long as you put the time in studying, you should just pass the exam. Mm-hmm. It's just about like you have to memorize a lot of shit. Anyhow, so a bunch of these people, all these second-rate law schools where no one gets jobs from are all complaining about the bar exam is too hard and their students can't pass the exam, and they should get rid of the bar exam because it's too much of a barrier to becoming a lawyer. Those law schools also charge like $50,000 a year for students to come to get their education there, and they're offering you get into a gigantic amount of debt and you don't get a job out of it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, and they're coming now. They're complaining that they're a scam. They're saying the bar exam is a scam because the bar exam they're making tons of money, and it's like all these people are just giant assholes. Same idea. All these I don't know.
Well, your story seems like that school isn't good enough at teaching the students, so they're mad at the test.
Yeah, that's basically. There's one school in particular. This school called New York Law School, which is a terrible law school. And there's some people who get really good jobs out of it, but you have to do really well there. And apparently they're in the what is it? They're one of the top 10 most expensive schools in the country. Mm-hmm. But they're also the top 10 worst placement. Like only 30% of their students have jobs. And so they're trying to they're putting people in so much debt and producing most people don't get jobs from it. I'm like, it's the biggest scam ever. Mm-hmm. And this school, someone who was like an administrator of the school was quoted in this article saying how the bar exam was hurting students. I'm like, no, your school is hurting students, not this exam.
Yeah, totally agree. Wouldn't it be like an entire institution-wide problem if it was the test? Like,
yeah, I don't get I don't understand. Like, I mean, like it's just the test. Like, if your kids aren't passing it, like maybe there should be some basic requirement that you have to have. Like, you can't study. Like, if you can't study for 2 months to pass a dumb exam, then maybe you shouldn't be a lawyer.
Right.
Like, it's not a big deal. Just don't be a lawyer then. Obviously, it's not. It wasn't worth your time to study.
It's not like everybody could be a lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, the exam is like it's not the hardest thing in the world. Just spend some time studying. That's it. Mm-hmm. Versus like taking out a mortgage to go to law school so you can't get a job.
Right.
Seems a lot worse. What else up with you, Jay? The show's going long.
Yeah, the show is going long. Maybe we should just call it a night.
You know, I had one more thing I want to mention.
Okay.
March Madness, right?
Yeah.
So when I went on, we did a March Madness pool at work, and I was the one that's setting it up, and I set it up through Yahoo. And so I had to go on Yahoo. I know we have a fantasy league also for the Knicks on this for NBA, but anytime I have to go to Yahoo, I don't know my password. I have no idea because I only use this thing for like fantasy purposes. I know I have a Yahoo email account that I have no idea what's on there because I've never checked it. But every time I have to go on there, I have to forgot password and like authenticate, and they text me a password on my cell phone. Here's the thing, Yahoo. If you're listening, Yahoo, you can put my password online. I don't care if anyone knows it. I don't need to authenticate. Like, just have the password be the word password and just let me on, or just like put my email address and sign me in. And if anyone wants to go break into my Yahoo account and change my basketball lineups or like change my picks for March Madness, go ahead. They're just I understand that I have to authenticate and I have all this big time these passwords for my bank account. I don't need one for Yahoo. I don't give a shit what the password is. I never want to memorize this. I don't even want a password.
I feel like the only people who use Yahoo use it for fantasy sports.
I want to be able to opt out of passwords for certain sites.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to log into something that like that I'm never putting my credit card into, I don't need a password for that.
Yeah, I can see that. The password is getting out of control now too because I had a system. But now every site is saying, well, you got to use a capital and a number and all this other shit. So now I have no idea anymore.
Oh, and Yahoo also, I was putting a password and they're like, that's weak. I'm like,
yeah.
I can't use that. They use something like harder. I'm like, I'm fucking not going to remember it then, okay?
Yeah, they heckle you if you don't make a really complicated password.
I have like 16 different passwords I'm supposed to memorize for like all different, and I try to like use different ones because I'm like, it fucking matters.
Yeah.
And then there's certain sites I go on that every time I go on there, all I just do is like I go forgot password. That's okay on the site because I have no idea what my password is.
Somehow, Apple gave me 2 different accounts. They think one is under Gmail and one is under Hotmail. So sometimes I'll try and like buy an album and it'll think it's one and not the other. And like, but for one of them, I don't even remember which one. One of them, it argues with me when I ask for my birthday. I'll put in my birthday and it's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it is. And then like they can't send me a new password because I got my birthday wrong. So that account, like whenever it thinks it's that account, I just can't do anything. So that's
really funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? What did we learn today, Jay?
We learned that. What did we learn?
We don't learn much.
No, we don't learn much on this show. We learned that we could still do a show with just the 2 of us.
I don't think there was a question before. Was that a question that we had?
What? Can we do the show with the two of us?
Yeah.
No, I just
It's fun to have a third person, but
it is.
I think we could do a two-person show also.
It's even more fun when you ask somebody to do the show and they actually respond instead of just.
Or did people not respond to you tonight?
Yeah.
Is that kind of annoying to you?
It is kind of annoying. If Facebook has that new option where you can see if somebody read your message, and then you see read, and then you just never get a response, and you kind of like,
There's an option on Facebook for that?
It does it automatically.
What?
Yeah, like if you message me right now, you'll see when I read it. So you send somebody a message and you see it read, and then they don't respond. You're like, hey, it's kind of a dick move. You had no idea about that?
No, I had no clue on that.
Oh yeah, there's no privacy on Facebook anymore. You can't even like ignore a message anymore because Facebook will tell you.
Oh God. Well, I find it's what is it? Oh, so people can see when I read something?
Yeah. You have to literally just not click on the message if you don't want to respond.
Okay, I just messaged you.
Okay. I'm not looking at it. All right, now I'm going to look at it and you'll see. See? Now it says...
Where do I see it?
In the corner, on the right, it'll say seen.
Oh, see.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't even realize that.
Yep. Why, have you been ignoring people's messages?
I don't really message that many people on Facebook, really. Or I don't really pay that much attention to it. I don't know. There's like 18 different ways I can message people. I still use email a lot, or I text them. I guess I'm old school.
Yeah, no, I still do. I do that mostly. But there's some people where I just know they're always on Facebook, so it's just the easiest way to get in touch with them.
Yeah. So they're just ignoring. So you know they saw the message. As opposed to email, you're like, I don't know, maybe they didn't read the email. Maybe they died.
Yeah, basically everyone who's been on the show recently except Bri read the message and didn't respond.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
You know what the best part is? When they don't read the message, but then they don't respond. Then you send a message about something completely different, and they respond right away.
I guarantee you, if I sent a message about something else, they would both respond. Yes, that's exactly the scenario.
Anything else, they respond right away. You're like, what about the last message, asshole?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna test that right now. I'm gonna send one of them a message, and we'll see how quickly we get a response.
What's the message you're gonna send them? Hey, do you want to go on Chatterbait with me later?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask about a video game.
Oh, we forgot to do our. We gotta do this soon. Our Infowars, my Infowars idea. I completely forgot about it. Do you remember the idea? We're gonna read an Infowars article. We'll do this on a future show. You're gonna go in the comment section and comment, and we're gonna see what kind of responses we can get. We're gonna basically troll people on Infowars on the show.
Yeah, I think that would be fun doing some live trolling. Maybe we'll do that next episode.
Yeah,
See if we get some...
I think writing messages online will be a fun thing to do for our radio show.
And he's responding 5 seconds later. Unbelievable.
What did he say? What was your message to him?
I asked them. I have like Nintendo points, and I could get a free game now. So I asked them which Zelda game I should get, because I have a choice of 2 different Zelda games.
What an asshole.
Yep. All right, that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for listening. Oh, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we are Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. We have Facebook. Leave an iTunes review. Instagram is The Brink of Sanity. Is that it? thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com is our email.
And if you were waiting for episode 208, that comes next episode.
That is next episode.
And that's the big one when we talk about, well, you'll see.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna